Hey, you action figure enthusiasts out there, JC here with another TNI toy review. And today's review is in association with MarvelousNews.com, your #1 news source for everything Marvel. And for today's review, I'm going to be taking a look at the brand new Marvel Legends series Carnage figure from Hasbro. Now this 6-inch figure comes packaged in a similar style that we see with most of the Marvel Legends. However, the big difference with this entire Venom wave, and you'll notice here, is it comes in a white type box as opposed to black. So that's kind of cool. You still have the Legends series logo up at the top. At the very top with these, you have a Venom type logo. You have the figure clearly displayed, and then down below you've got the Venom name and the name of the character. On the sides of the packaging, you just have artwork for the character, and then on the back of the packaging you have a look at the actual figure, a brief bio in multiple languages, and then down below a look at all the figures in the wave that you need to get in order to complete the Monster Venom Build-A-Figure. Alright, let's get this open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figure outside the packaging along with the other contents. Now first of all, this figure comes with the head sculpt for the Monster Venom Build-A-Figure, and I'll be taking a look at that figure in its own review once I've looked at all the figures in this wave, so be sure to check back for that. Okay, so first of all, this figure comes with 2 different head sculpts, and the masked head sculpt is actually the same head sculpt that we got with the previous Carnage figure. It does have a little bit different in the way of paint applications. The red is a little bit darker on this new figure as opposed to the previous one, and that's the same with the entire figure. And then you'll also notice that his tongue is red. I don't know if that's supposed to be blood or something. On the original figure it was pink, but primarily it is the same head sculpt. He's got the open mouth and everything. You can see some teeth kind of sculpted on there and such, so overall pretty cool. But the real gem with this one is this unmasked Cletus head, and I think they've nailed the look of Cletus from the comic books 100% with this unmasked head. So he's got the red hair with the curly, all the curly hair like you see in the comics, and he's got the red eyebrows, and he's got that psychotic grin, and I think the eyes look great. Skin tone is good, so this is definitely a very nice looking head sculpt. And again, I think they nailed the look for Cletus Cassidy with this head sculpt dead on. Now to switch out the head sculpts, it's real easy. Now when you take the figure out of the packaging, it's actually the Cletus head sculpt that's attached to the figure, but if you want to switch it out with the mask one, you just pop it off and you pop on the other one. It just attaches with a ball joint and pops right on. Now if you really wanted to, you could also use the Cletus head sculpt with the previous figure that we got. So same thing, you just pop it off and you can pop this Cletus head sculpt on there, and it does fit perfectly. Okay, and then finally the figure comes with 2 different pairs of hands, and this pair is the same pair of hands that we got with the regular figure or the first figure, and so nothing really different there. The second pair of hands, you get this axe hand, and this is basically for the right hand, and then you get this left hand, which is very similar to the regular hands that it comes with, only the claws or fingernails, whatever you want to call them, are a little bit longer. Okay, now the detail on the axe I like. You know, this axe hand, you've got the tentacles that are basically stringing out from his fingers, and they kind of go into the axe, and you've got this one that's hanging off the axe itself. Now the axe is made with a rubber type material, so it does bend a little bit, but comes out of the packaging pretty straight, and it looks like the axe is sharp and all. Now on this side you can make out his fist. It's a closed fist, so you do really need to use it on the right hand, not the left. I mean, you could technically put it on the other hand, but it would look kind of funny, so it is definitely made to be used on the right hand. And then to switch out the hands, it's easy. You just pop off the hand that you want to replace, and then you just pop on. You got the peg on the hand and the hole in the arm, just like always, and then you just plug in the hand you want to replace it with, and it should fit nice and tight. And with this other hand, you know, again, you've got the longer nails and you've got a few more tentacles hanging out. Now one thing I hope I don't end up seeing when this figure hits stores is that swappers will try and take the axe hand and the unmasked head and just leave the figure. I could definitely see that happening. Now for the figure itself, this figure is the exact same figure as the previous Carnage that we got. The only real difference between the actual figures is the red is a little bit darker on this newer figure, but only by a little bit. So like I said, tentacles and all that are exactly the same, so other than the hands and the alternate head, it is the same figure. Now you also get the little tentacle pieces that plug into the back of the figure, which you can remove just like on the original figure, and even like the black markings and everything are pretty much the same as on the previous figure. And just in case you're not familiar with the Carnage figure, it stands right about 6.5 inches tall. And here's a comparison with the most recent Spider-Man figure mold that Hasbro uses. And here's a comparison comparison of the new Carnage Marvel Legend figure with the Revoltech Carnage. And overall, I think, you know, when it comes to actual Carnage himself, the Revoltech figure wins out. But again, with that unmasked head with the Hasbro one, that is definitely a nice touch. Okay, so for articulation on this one, with the Cletus Cassidy head, he can turn his head to the left and to the right, and he can look down good and can look up pretty good as well. Same thing with the masked head. You can get the arms out, attached with your ball hinge joint there at the shoulder, so you can get it out good. It's got good rotation there. Has a double hinged elbow, so good bending with the elbow. Also has a bicep swivel. Hinges on the hand. So with this hand, you've got the up and down movement. With this one, you've got more of a side to side with the axe motion. So I like that with that hand. You've got an ab crunch joint, so he can crunch down about that much, and then he can look back about that much. Same as with the original figure. You've got a waist swivel. With the legs, can only do the splits about that much, and then you can get the leg up high good, and you can do the leg out and back. You do have a thigh swivel. You've got a double jointed knee, so good bending there at the knee, and then you've got a boot cuff swivel, and then hinges on the feet, so up and down movement, and you do get ankle pivot with these, and 2 peg holes on the bottom of the feet. Okay, so that's my review. So overall, this is a solid figure. It was a solid figure the first time that we got it. I like the overall look of it. I love the unmasked head sculpt with this one, and I like the axe hand as well. So those are definitely nice additions. Maybe they could have varied the figure up a little more with different, you know, black markings or something, or different tentacles on the figure, just so it wasn't exactly the same figure as far as the main body as the previous one. But other than that, you know, again, I think this is a great figure, especially if you passed on the original one. I think this one is definitely worth getting. Now this figure, along with the rest of the wave, has started to see release overseas at places like Robot Kingdom, and should start hitting shelves here in the United States by the end of this month or early next month. We'll have a full image gallery up at marvelousnews.com. There'll be a link in the video description below. As always, leave a comment, let me know what you think. If you're so inclined, please like the video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel by hitting that button down below. I'd really appreciate it. Also, be sure to hit that bell notification so you're alerted every time I upload a new video. You can also follow me on my Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch accounts. I have links to all those in the video description as well. And until next time, guys, I'll catch you later.